Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Operation Newblood. This is Newblood 12.5 and 12.6. Had a couple housekeeping issues that we needed to deal with real fast. So in Captain G's video, in his two task forces he has, one in P59 and P60, he had landed one of his TAC bombers here in P60, which is this task force here. He couldn't do that. He had to land his TAC bombers in P59, which is what that is. So one of his fighters could land in P60. So just swap those out, and so he now has 3 TACs and 2 fighters in P59 on those carriers, and then a fighter in P60 on that light carrier. Okay. Also, the Japanese have the bonus artillery. He didn't announce that, but he did end up placing his bonus artillery that he gets in Guam, his coastal artillery. And also, just a little bit of income housekeeping. The British, because he only took 8 IPP points, not all 9 like he was intending, the Brits are at 15 IPP, not 14, like he had said in his video. Okay, so we should be done with the housekeeping, and let's go ahead and take y'all over to our well, if I can give me a second, let me adjust this. I can't think about adjusting it before the turn, but I'll go ahead and take care of it now. Alright, so starting with the British tech, they are rolling for airborne doctrine and long-range aircraft. Airborne will be at a 7. That's a 1, so that's a fail. And the long-range aircraft will be at an 8. And that's an 11, so that scores. So Britain moves up the long-range aircraft stage 3. Okay. All right. Now we go to buy units. So we'll pick y'all up. We'll go back around the world here. All right. So, Britain has 17 to spend. They'll be spending 12 on armor, 2 medium armor, and then the remaining 5 on an infantry and a militia. All right. The FEC have 18 to spend. They'll be spending 8 on 2 Gurkhas and then 10 on a fighter that they're lend-leasing to the KMT. All right. And then the Anzac, they have 6 to spend. They will be buying a medium armor. And we will move on to combat now. All right. So we just have 2 combats. And it will be this British submarine. We'll move 1 into A5 and do a convoy raid on the German line. Okay, I'll go ahead and move that right there. Okay, so we'll be doing a convoy raid there. And then our major battle occurring this turn, we have the units dispatching out to northern England, defending their home country, liberating the northern English that have been suffering through the German chaos that they have been causing them, and going to fight for human rights and human freedom under the Nazi regime. Let's go over units that are in this battle. So, I'll zoom you out just a little bit. The Germans have 4 fighters, a fortification. They have 7 infantry and 1 militia, all defending. And then the Brits are attacking with 3 fighters, 1 armor, 2 mechanized, 8 infantry, and 1 airborne that gets that, I put it at 2, but it's a +3 the first round. Or not a +3, it's a +1. It attacks at a 3 the first round. And then the militia in home country attacking at that 1. Alright? So let's move on. We'll go ahead and do the convoy rating first. And adjust you here. Breaking the world. Alright. So alright. So we have the convoy raid and the submarine gets a +2, and that should be all the modifiers. What I understand. Naturally, I forgot to make sure, double check on the rules, but if I remember correctly, the submarine gets a modifier of +2 and no modifier for the Germans. Alright, so the Germans, they'll be black, Brits will be red, and max of 2 IPP. So here we go. Alright, so that's 8 out of 4. So they max out at that 2 IPP. Sadly, it's only 2. I wish it was 10, but it is what it is. So we have finished that. Alright, so moving on to our regular combat. So, fortification, 2 dice at a 5 first strike. And that's a 4. So I'm going to take out the British militia that was attacking. And we'll keep on rolling. Alright, so we have 8 infantry, so let me gather up my dice here. 8 infantry attacking at a 2. Right, 8 infantry attacking at a 2. I see 1 hit. And I assume that'll be his militia. So we'll go ahead and put that in the black, because it still gets a defense roll. And then we have the 2 mechanized and airborne attacking at a 3. And yeah, y'all can see that. That's a 12, but they do have a they did hit with a 1, and so that will be one of the infantry, I'm sure. All right. Now we have the 3 fighters and 1 armor attacking at a 6. There is no air superiority, so they will just attack it normal at the infantry. Alright, so 1 hit. So that will be the remaining infantry. Right. Now we have the militia that died defending it at 2. That's a 5. We have the 7 infantry at a 4. And I see 1 hit. So we will take out one of the infantry. We'll put that in the black. Actually, we'll just take that off because it won't get to attack. So don't want any confusion on my counts. Right. Keep that straight. All right. And then the fortification. 2 dice at 5 again, and both misses. And then the 4 aircraft at a 6, and I see 2 hits. So we'll take off 2 more infantry and continue on. I totally rolled more dice than I should. I'm gonna re-roll that because that was befuddled. I grabbed 4 in one hand and had the others in the other hand, and I rolled the other hand. So I'm gonna re-roll that. So the four fighters at 6, and naturally he got 2 hits instead of 1. So 2 infantry. All right. Continuing on. We have the 5 at 2. The airborne now attacks it at 2. So 5 at 2. I see 1 hit. So we'll take off another infantry. So he now has 4 infantry remaining. Right. Then the 2 at 3. Both miss. And then the 4 at 6. I see 4 hits. Good Lord. Okay, so yeah, that's 4. Yeah, 4 hits. Can you guys see that? Yeah, four hits in total. So that will be all 3 infantry and 1 aircraft. All right. You know, I didn't even think about the fortification. Let me look real fast to make sure that it still defends. I'm not sure because it doesn't have anyone there. Okay, fortifications. And I'm just now reading the fortification in the first round of combat at 5 with 2 first strike rolls. They add a +2 defense bonus to all infantry class units in the zone on the first round of combat. So we'll have to go. We'll have to go back. I don't remember what all they rolled, so we'll just continue on, and because I really don't want to restart this battle to get a different, because there may be a different outcome. So but I'll go back in the video, and if another was hit, or if there was a hit, it'll just be on the infantry attacking it at 2. So the 4 that I just hit, those wouldn't be bothered. That wouldn't change anything. Fortifications are removed if the land zone is captured. I'm not seeing anything where it says they can't defend if there's not an infantry. So we will just continue on like it goes about, like there's infantry still there in the fortification, because that would make sense. But so we will do the 4, 5 infantry at 4. Okay, I see 2 hits, so that's 2 more infantry. And the fortification at a 5, both miss. And then the fighter that died at a 6, that's a 3, so that's a hit. We'll take out 1 more infantry, and then the 3 other fighters at 6. And I see 1 hit, so we'll take out the last infantry. Now there's just the airborne there. Alright, so we have the 1 airborne at a 2. That's a 7, so that's a miss. 2 mechanized at a 3. Both miss. And then 4 at a 6. And I see 3 hits. So that will be the remaining fighters. And right, so remaining fighters. So we will do their defense rolls. 3 defense rolls at a 6. And I see 2 hits. So we'll take out the airborne and 1 of the mechanized. And then 2 at 5. And 1 hit. And I'm gonna lose that other mechanized. Alright, so the Brits are victorious. It was a hard fought battle. The infantry taking heavy losses, getting obliterated, and barely surviving with the tanks and the fighters. Alright, so we do have to roll for the German transport. I think 1 to 9 it's a scuttle, and then a 10 to 12 it is captured. So we'll go ahead and roll that. And that's a 7, so that's a scuttle. So it gets taken off the board. Alright. So let me go ahead and grab my units here that survived, the few that there are. And I do need to grab that a major factory. If I can find one. Naturally I can't, so we'll just grab this marker that is a 10. So we'll take that off. And I know I have more, I'm just not sure where they're at. But so I'm having to hold y'all here, but take that off. that. And sorry, hold on. I'm having trouble here, as you can clearly tell. Alright, so taking off those there. And then the aircraft, so they have to land adjacent. And the one aircraft coming from London, they all land in southern, no, actually, yeah, they'll all land in southern England. Okay. The armor takes over. Let me grab a British marker. So they do go up 3 for taking that back. And that should be all of the combat that we have. Okay, so the infantry and anti-air will move into southern England, and the coastal defense ship, an A-23, will join the British task force in A6. And then we'll move on down to South Africa. All right, so maybe I'll just a little bit. All right, so this destroyer will move to A-51 along with this battle cruiser and Anzac ship, or Anzac transport. And oh, that's on an island. And we'll come up here and drop the motorized off into Cameroon. And then we move over to here, and we have all of slipped down there for some reason. There we go. All right, these 2 Gurkhas moving into Anatonkin. And these aircraft in Maharashtra will move into Burma. And then we have the ships over here. I'll zoom out so y'all can see what's going on. All right, so we have these 2 submerged submarines moving 3, 1, 2, 3 into P-70. Okay, the destroyer and submarine that were in P-61 moving 1, 2, 3 and to Sydney, and this fighter will move back to Sydney as the Japanese submarine ran like a deranged pig to take out the weak transport off the coast of India. And then we go on to place units. So we'll go ahead and grab them up. No silence. Can't have silence. No silence. Can't make it awkward. Okay. Armor will go into Sydney. The fighter we're lend-leasing to the KMT will go into Yunnan. The 2 Gurkhas will be made in Burma. Joining those wonderful aircraft. And then we move over to Britain. And oh, you guys can see that. Alright, so we will just be placing 2 armor into London along with infantry, and then placing the militia into southern England. All right. Let's go to incomes. We'll go ahead and do France. France doing a mass retreat out of the jungles of the Belgian Congo, coming back to the capital of Cameroon, and then they will be placing a single militia. All right. Now let's go over to income updates. All right. So I think all we have is the British. We'll set you up where y'all can see. All right. So the British go up 3 to 18. The Germans go down 3 to 52. And that should be it there. So we will collect income. So Brits have 18 plus 2 for Iran, so they collect 20. So I need 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So they will have 20 to spend next turn. The FEC will just collect, they spent all their 18. They will collect 17, so subtract 1, so they will have 17 to spend next turn. Okay. And the Anzacs are at 8, so they go plus 2 to their stack, and we'll have 8 spin next turn. And then the French stay at their 2, so they will just have that 2 to spin next turn. All right. So this is Operation Newblood 12.5 and 6 conclusion. We'll give it over to Captain G for the Italian turn. Hopefully nothing crazy happens there, because it's definitely been crazy in this turn. See you guys.